And that's when the pastor's wife dropped to her knees in a youth organization building that used to double as a church in an attempt to repay me with sex. Yeah, that happened. I bet you're wondering how we got to this point. In that moment, I was too. Back in the day,
when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
I was talking to this joint named Kiki. I met her where every premium trash ass nigga met joints they normally never encounter.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Joan said she just moved to Philly and was looking for a fuckboy to ruin her life. A nice gentleman to talk to. Initially, I thought she was a catfish because she said she lived in East Philly. There is no damn East Philly. There's North, where the real niggas is from. And then there's South, Southwest, West, and Uptown. Oh, and Northeast. But that shit is its own entity. If this was Game of Thrones, Northeast Philly would be beyond the wall. So I thought Joan was trying to finesse me. Come to find out, she was just new and goofy. She was living in a section of the city called East Oak Lane. When I found that out, I got excited because she was cute, thick, and intelligent adjacent. Okay, side note. I went through this period where I had a thing for intelligent adjacent women.
Hooters, yum, yum, yum. Hooters on a girl that's dumb.
I'm not sure why, but I love me a Brown Kelly Bundy back then. Like, I was talking to this one brown baddie and I asked her, so what was the last book you read? And she replied, read? Like school? Like school read? Who the fuck reads when TV is right there? My nigga, I was swooning. Don't judge me. Okay, judge me, I deserved it. But I'm not that guy anymore. Me and Joan started hanging out at her crib. I suggested that we go out, but she never wanted to. Just always at her spot and always in the living room, which made me think she had a dude. Any mature, reasonable adult with good communication skills would have asked her why she never wanted to go out. So of course, I ain't ask her shit. The Book of Nigalations clearly states, quiet thine tongue and mind as to not talk thine self out of the panty draws. So she ain't tell me, and I ain't never asked. We just hang out in her living room, watch movies, and partake in butt-naked frivolity. It was fun, because it was like she felt no pain. Well, at least not on her booty, which she didn't have a lot of. And by a lot, I mean none. Like none. Despite being bereft of buns, she had a thing for getting paddled. Every time I came over, there was a new paddle sitting on the couch. And this was prior to Amazon delivery, so she had to have like a whole ass vault of paddles somewhere in her apartment. I was vanilla as hell back then. I ain't never paddled no joint before. So I was concerned I was gonna smack her in the ass too hard and dislodge her hip or some shit. At first, I was swinging the paddle like a little bitch. And she let me know I was swinging the paddle like a little bitch.
Nigga, you hit like a bitch.
So my pride kicked in like, wait, me? Bitch? Moi? Fuck you think you talking to? I'm from North. 22nd on Lippincott. You ain't gonna be talking to me any kind of way. I grabbed that paddle, brought my arm all the way back, swung forward and paddled her ass as hard as I thought I could. And I stood there, accomplished. And she was like,
you still hit like a bitch.
Oh hell no. I reached my arm back once more, and I asked for help from the fuckboy gods. They delivered. I let loose and paddled those little snacky cakes into oblivion, and she was finally happy. And I damn near dislocated my shoulder. Whole time we was getting it in that day, I was thinking about taking my ass to the ER. Back at home and in pain, I was certain that she did have a big booty at some point, but all that paddling probably flattened that joint out. I called Bruce and asked what he thought. Wait, so you paddled her as hard as you could and she ain't flinch? Bruh, she just smiled like I was caressing her face. Next time she bend over, you might have to shoot her in her ass. I mean, not with like a 9 or no shit like that. Like a little 22 snub nose. She probably liked that shit. Okay, nah, bro. You got two options as far as I can see it. You're gonna have to never call Joan again and take that L. Because, you know, proper communication was not an option. Or, if you're gonna keep hitting that, you're gonna have to grow stronger so you can paddle her little hiney the right way. So I did the smart thing. I did what any prideful fuckboy would do.
Push it to the limit. Walk along a razor's edge. But don't look down, just keep your head or you'll be finished. Past the point of no
So one day, after another sexual hazing session, we in the living room smelling like fresh sweat and paddled ass. As I'm dozing off, a little girl peeks out the door down the hall and says, "Mama, the TV stopped working." I was triggered as fuck. My thighs started itching thinking back on the other incident that happened back in the day. I was mortified. Not only because of the kids staring at us, but because Kiki wasn't mortified. She just walked back to the room all willy-nilly to fix the TV. I smooth got dressed and left while she was back there, never to smash those oatmeal cream pies again. We talk on AOL every now and again, but that was it. The flag got way too red for me to keep smashing. Fast forward 8 years. After performing at an event, the producer said we had a mutual friend, Kiki. She went on to tell me that Kiki married a pastor and was doing well. Said she got a huge grant, bought an old church, and converted it to start a youth after-school program. She said she was looking for a poetry teacher and wondered if I'd be interested. The producer forwarded my number and Kiki called me the next day, and it was strictly business. She asked if I was interested in teaching bi-weekly classes for her organization. We linked up and she looked good. I don't know if she was doing hella squats or maybe she wasn't getting pastor paddled, but her booty got ginormous. Either my theory on getting paddled was right, or the Lord blessed her with booty for marrying a pastor. I started doing the workshops, and it was great. The other staff were hella cool, and the kids were amazing writers, especially this one girl who was the youngest of the group, but by far the most advanced poet. Payday rolls around, and the money didn't hit my account. I called, and Kiki's assistant said something was off with the banking info they had for me, so I needed to come in and get a check. When I got there, the rest of the staff were gone, but Kiki was in her office. On her desk was a pic of her and the pastor looking all sanctified and shit. Next to that pic was a pic of her, the pastor, and the girl who was writing dope poems in my workshop. Then it hit me. That was her daughter. The same daughter who caught us asshole naked on the living room floor, post-paddling. Kiki started flirting with me a bit, which was weird because that hadn't happened the entire time I was working there. But it was after hours and I thought maybe she had some kind of getting pounded out in the office fantasy. But nah, nope, this was business now. Plus, it wasn't no paddles around anyway, and I would have had to use a clipboard or some shit. So I got my check and rolled the fuck out. Following morning, I deposited my check. At lunch, I tried to use my card and it got declined. I called the bank what the fuck? And they said it was a fraud charge on my account. So the check I deposited that morning was flagged. I ended up getting Joan on the phone. She tried to set a date for the following Monday to give me cash. I told Joan she had to have my money that night or I was gonna go to her husband's church and air all that shit out on Sunday. The money. Not the paddling, for the record. But the paddling too if she didn't have my bread. We linked up at the spot and she handed me an envelope with cash in it. I'm not sure if she didn't think I was gonna count it right there, but it was only for $500. I was thinking we could work the rest off, Daddy. She walked in her office and her booty followed 2 seconds later. She turned around and said, "You coming?" And that's when the pastor's wife dropped to her knees in a youth organization building that used to double as a church in an attempt to repay me with sex. But fuck niggamus, God and protector of all fuckboys, shallow be his name, shine down his trash wisdom upon me. My child, how the fuck she gonna try to pay you with some shit you already had for free and actually don't want no more? Kiki, run me my fucking money. She got up and tried to kiss on me, but I shut that shit down. My money. This is all the cash I have on me, but I can write you a check. Cash, Kiki. By that point, the banks were closed. We agreed to meet up the next day, and you already know where this is going. I haven't laid eyes on her since. She went completely off the grid, even allegedly leaving her husband and daughter behind. The other staff she shorty got the cops involved, but I chalked that shit. The pastor said she skipped town, but I knew he knew where she was because he didn't seem concerned. That, or he was tired of her scamming ass and was glad she disappeared. I wasn't about to press him over my money though. Would you have pressed the pastor? Fast forward several years, I'm at the airport and I run into her homie. Before I could even speak, she said, "You know your girl back, right? The statute of limitations is up. She back in Philly. And as small as Philly is, I ain't never see her. But she did send me a friend request on Facebook like shit was sweet. At first I was gonna put my homie on her. Renata would have found her and beat the Sonic rings out of her ass until it equaled $2,000. But I decided to fall back once I started looking through her pics. The booty she once acquired was gone. She was looking like SpongeBob SquareBird. Booty looking like 2 stacks of wet napkins. There was nothing I could do to make her look any worse than she already did with her long ass back. The Lord giveth the cheeks, and the Lord taketh away when you mess with people's money. Sucks to suck. Thank you so much for watching Trashterpiece Theater. Please like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Also, please consider donating to our Patreon to help the channel grow. Patreon patrons receive additional bonus episodes, so there's that too. This is all possible because of your support. Thank you.